Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Daniel and welcome back for another video, and this is the first video on this set which I have actually wanted for months. I actually made another video yesterday about this, so you can just go ahead and watch that one. But right now, today's topic is why you should not buy an iPhone in 2020, and it's just a bad pick in 2020. So before further ado, let's go. Okay, so first we're going to talk about the outdated hardware of the device itself. So as you can see that the latest devices of 2020 actually have a screen to body ratio that exceeds 90%, and maybe all those devices actually have 88.8 or 88.9%. But if you look at an Apple device, an Apple phone or an iPhone, it still has a screen to body ratio of 80%, 75%, 85%, and it does not exceed. And it still has that 2017 3-year-old notch on the screen of the display, and the display is actually flat. That sort of is a little bit outdated, but many people don't really use the edges on other phones, but it still looks outdated, it feels how. Alright, so the second thing which we are going to talk about is software restrictions. So what are actually software restrictions? Software restrictions are those that they do not let you connect via USB-C, or they do not let you connect via Bluetooth. It's just Apple to Apple Bluetooth. And the second thing is they do not let you download your data from the cloud, which actually is possible on other cloud storages like devices and Samsung clouds. So this is, I think, the second thing which you need to keep in mind while buying an iPhone in 2020. Alright, so the third thing while buying an iPhone as a con which you need to remember is that it's battery gate. There's a lot of battery gate in a lot of iPhones. Like, you use an iPhone, but after 1 year, the battery starts to degrade. So if you're buying a used iPhone X, even the iPhone X have a 75% battery health, or maybe even 60%, while if you pick up an Android phone 3 years ago, you still are going to get 95%, or maybe even more, or maybe even 100% battery health. So this is something which you really need to keep in mind. Like, an Android phone, an average Android budget phone, actually just, you can use it for 1.5 day, like 4 to 5 hours screen time. But if you're using an iPhone, you don't have that 4 to 5 hours screen time. It's like you have to charge it and then you gotta use it, but the usage is maybe like 2 to 3 hours. And if you're a power user, you just have to forget about the battery itself. Alright, so another con which you need to keep in mind when buying an iPhone in 2020 is you have to wait on features. It's like waiting features. Like, if you take a look at a 3-year-old or maybe 4-year-old Samsung Galaxy S7, it's gonna have like the wireless charging. It's gonna have a lot of features that your iPhone do not have. Like, if you take a look at the dark mode itself, Android has had dark mode since Android 6.0, while at the same time iPhone had dark mode last year. Android's dark mode is fully matured, while iPhone is still in development. Like, many apps which they declare to be in dark mode are not in dark mode, and many apps which are already in dark mode, they're just not perfect. People don't really use them. Some has issues, and some people just don't even know about dark mode exists because they do not advertise it as much as Android or many other manufacturers do. So you really have to wait on features, or maybe you have to wait on advertising those features. So this is, I think, a con. Like, many iPhones, they have features that you don't really use, or many iPhones have features which Android phones have had for years. Alright, so the last thing which you need to keep in mind while buying an iPhone in 2020 is less connectivity. People who use iPhone often don't know how to use basic pictures, basic files, and basic zip files via Drive, because all that data is in the iCloud, which you often cannot download. And the thing is, iPhones just don't have connectivity in general, like by software wise and hardware wise. Like, if you come to the hardware, you cannot connect a headphone because you don't have a proper headphone jack. You cannot connect your iPhone to a TV or a computer by using just a single cable, because the iPhone uses Lightning instead of USB-C. So in general, in order to connect your iPhone, in order to have a professional use out of your iPhone, you just don't have that connectivity that you have with other devices which are available on the market. So these are all the reasons which I really need to share to you today. So I hope you make up your mind. If you don't, I don't know who you are. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.